Hello, hello, beloved, and welcome to another episode of A Spiritual Remedy. My name is Sunshine Day, and what a joy it is to greet you on this Monday. Let me know where you are tuning in from on YouTube, on Facebook. Let me know what's up, where you are today, and what's happening in your life. Today's show, of course, is being produced by Vida Spiritual Learning Center. It is our center where we get to build and grow our spiritual learning community. And as you already know, a spiritual remedy is dedicated for people with addiction recovery, people who are ready to lay down their weapons of mass distraction, or who've already laid down their weapons of mass distraction and are doing everything possible to live their best life. So, if you're joining us today, go ahead and say hello in the chat so that I might acknowledge you and let me know what's up. You know, we have a long weekend coming up here in the US. And if you got anything planned over the weekend, it'd be nice to know what your plans are for this weekend. Ah, I'm just going to take a breath. And I'm going to invite you to take a breath with me. And as you take this breath with me, know that that right there is a spiritual practice. To simply breathe and recognize that right now, in this moment, everything, everything is coming together for your highest and best, and that everything is indeed in divine order. So I see there's a few folks are already on. Just go ahead and say hello. I want to know who's happy, who's doing what, and what's happening this weekend for you and this week for you as I begin to talk a little bit about what's up for me today. What I want to talk about today is recognizing patterns and moving forward. Recognizing patterns and moving forward. Okay, so what's up, Robin? I hear you've been celebrating life and celebrating all the good in your life. It's so good to have you with us on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And who else we got here? Uh, who else do we have here? Alina. Hey, Alina. So good to have you with us this morning. We also have Nancy in Long Beach. So glad to have you with us. And we've got Susan Peterson. I trust all is well in your world. This weekend, I'm going to Minnesota to hang out to the hangouts and then go to a wedding. Good for you. That is awesome. I'm so glad that you get to do that and so glad that people get to travel and to enjoy themselves and enjoy life. You know, today, as I was just talking about earlier, I think it's important for those of us in recovery or those of us who are laying down weapons of mass distraction. And those weapons, by the way, can be drugs, alcohol, gambling. It could be, you know, addictions to drama. It could be addictions to stress or to things not always going the way that you think that they should. And the idea of and the phrase was coined by one of my great teachers, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. And I love that term. I use it all the time myself. I guess I can start, you know, just saying that I use it. But these terms, whether it's a type of addiction or something that keeps us going, sometimes, you know, our cell phones are weapons of mass distraction and they distract us from living our best life, that we're so caught up in all of these things that we forget to really just pause and live our own life. And so, I've put together a number of questions that I want to ask you as you take a look at your own personal life. And what I find is that it's easy to fall into patterns that keep us stuck. It's easy to fall into patterns that prevent us from growing. It's easy to fall into patterns that distract us from the goals that we have in our lives. I know that this weekend I get to go on retreat and in Ojai, and I want to pack. I want to pack today or by tomorrow, the latest. So this way it's out of the way. And I recognize that sometimes I get stuck in things that are that whole thing, right? That put me in a rut. And then, oh, but let me do this over here. Oh, but let me do this over here. And then the next thing you know, whoa, I'm not even packed. Has that happened for you? Hey there, Natalie. It's so good to have you here this morning. And Reverend Kevin, thank you so much. Reverend Kevin's always behind the scenes, making sure that the show is running awesome. By the way, tune into his talk on vidaslc.org. And then this Sunday, tune into my talk. But I digress. So here are the questions. If you've been wondering if you are stuck in patterns and beliefs and stuck in things that distract you from living your best life, here's a question you might ask yourself. And actually, I would love it if some of you would be bold enough and courageous enough to put your answers in the chat. This might, in fact, help you to do something about what you're about to discover for yourself. So here's question number 1. Are my daily actions aligned with my long-term goals and values? Are my daily actions aligned with my long-term goals and values? Oh, wow. You know, it really forces me to think about in my recovery, in my life, as I'm looking at the not too distant future, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, where do I want to be? What are my current values? What are the things that I appreciate and those qualities and those things that I value? If I say I value fun, family, abundance, if I say that I value interconnectedness, education, are my daily actions aligned with my long-term goals and values? And thank you, Natalie. Natalie said no. So, when we're thinking about weapons of mass distraction, like what are the things that are distracting me, right? What are the things? What's up, Jason? So here's question number 2. Do I find myself seeking temporary relief rather than addressing deeper emotions? Do I find myself seeking temporary relief rather than addressing my deeper emotions? Right? Oh, I have that long-term project, or I got such and such to do. But first, let me eat a banana pudding. Right? Let me eat a banana pudding. Let me go ahead and just have this banana pudding. Let me, do something different other than really, really addressing what I need to address and what I want to address. Right? Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Sunny. Sunny's, where's Sunny's? Right here. Show Sunny's. Good morning. I bring myself back to my practice of tuning into my breath when I get distracted. This is my current daily practice, right? Yeah, absolutely. Getting back to that. Address long-term what? So the question is long-term goals and values, Lena. Yeah, are my daily actions aligned with my long-term goals and values? And do I find myself seeking temporary relief rather than addressing my deeper emotions? right? I've done it, been there, done that. I have invoices to do. I have notes that I need to write for my clients. Oh, but first, let me have a banana pudding. Oh, but first, let me go, distract myself by watching television, reality TV, as though my reality life itself is not entertaining enough, right? So, things to note for yourself, right? Number three, am I surrounding myself with people who support my growth, or am I staying in toxic relationships? Whoa. Hmm. Am I staying in toxic relationships? Am I now getting a new playground, new playmates, surrounding myself around people who are going to support my growth, right? How do I respond to setbacks? Do I respond to setbacks with resilience and learning, or do I blame myself? Do I give up? What's the use? It's never going to work anyway. These are all questions that they might seem a little bit harsh, but I am no longer willing to have us just go week by week by week without actually recognizing that there's room for growth. Someone once said, "You don't need to be sick in order to get better." You don't need to be sick in order to get better. And so, for those of us in recovery, for those of us who are seeking to live our best life, these are the questions that are going to help us move forward. And is my self-talk positive and encouraging, or do I often engage in self-sabotaging thoughts? Ah, right? Like, what's the use? So, now that we've kind of looked at and we've identified these patterns, um, the role of spiritual living as a pathway to lasting change is what a spiritual remedy is all about. And spirituality it doesn't mean religion. I'm not talking about religion here. It's about connecting to that source, to that power, to that purpose that is life itself. And it's about finding your inner strength. It's about really making that connection and having practices in place, like mindfulness practices, like meditation practices, like Sunny Day talked about, those things that bring her back to present when she recognizes that she's being distracted by these weapons that keep her from living her best life. Now, I'm putting a whole lot of words in her mouth, but you saw her comment, right? Now, the highlight that I want to bring today is the power of gratitude, the power of simply being in a place of gratitude. And even when things go wrong, or when things are not exactly as you think that they need to be, I wonder if by shifting focus and moving into a place of gratitude for the moment, for the lesson, for the resilience, for not getting what you thought you wanted when you wanted it, and knowing and trusting that it will come, I'm wondering if that power of gratitude will help shift your focus from what's lacking to what you're abundant in. Now, I want to know what you think about that. Go ahead and type into the chat. We've got a few minutes left, and I know that our show so far has been so filled. Like, what do you think about the questions? What do you think about, those answers for yourself? Like, what is where are you right now? Are you at that place where maybe your self-talk is like, damn, I'm not doing good with any of these questions? Or, good questions. I'm grateful that these questions came up today. So I would love to hear from a few of you that are on, like, what do you think about that? Um, because what's important, as we begin to just kind of wrap up, is that we remember that I know the cliche is always so so boring, but what we get to remember, if we choose to, is that we're on a journey of recovery. And when I say recovery, for those of you who are not in 12-step recovery, it's fine. We're still on the journey of recovering our whole self. Somewhere along the line, we have forgotten. That's sign language for forget, right? Somewhere we have forgotten the truth about who we are. And on this journey, we get to recover our full self. Because for many of us who have been in long-term recovery, it's no longer about abstinence, but it is about our behaviors. And sometimes our behaviors keep us stuck in beliefs and in patterns that no longer serve us. So the holistic approach, the spiritual approach that nourishes your mind, your body, your spirit is the approach that we're talking about here. And it means that you get this opportunity to be part of our learning community. You get an opportunity to grow, not alone, but that you get to grow in pods, in community with one another, that you get an opportunity to share what's going on and what's not going on for you, that you get an opportunity to really be. So today, this attitude of gratitude is only one of the spiritual practices that you get an opportunity to look at. That instead of beating yourself up over the 5 questions, that you have this opportunity to get into gratitude about what you already have today. And if you have breath in your lungs, breath in your lungs, something to be grateful for. If you have internet to connect to a show like this, something to be grateful for. If you can see, if you can hear, I mean, those are just like even some of the basic things. If you have love in your life, like Jason says, right? Love, grateful for love in our life. This is only one of the spiritual practices that you will learn at Vida Spiritual Learning Center, and that we're ready to come together now in spiritual community, whether it's in person or hybrid. If you're ready, go ahead and type in the chat, I'm ready. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of the things that are coming up in the next coming weeks. But I want to also just remind you that it's kind of like going to the gym. When you go to the gym for the first time after not going for a long time, you're not going to just go and bust it out and lift the heaviest weights. No, you're going to take some small steps. Some small steps. That's why today I offered you the spiritual practice of gratitude, and to remind you that you can text me your gratitude list every day, and I will text you my gratitude list. And it'll be one-on-one. That is a place to start. And that over time, what begins to happen is these small steps begin to make these amazing radical changes in your life. So, beloveds, I just want to thank you for tuning in. Janet Carroll, I know you're ready. I know you're ready. I love you so much, and I'm so glad that you're here. Know that you are loved. Send me a text message with your gratitude. That'll be the first steps. If you're ready, if you're in, the phone number for the gratitude is 562-928-6460. Let me know that you're in, and then I will begin to text you information about gratitude classes, about all these other amazing step-by-step classes and courses that we're going to be hosting at Vida Spiritual Learning Center for your highest and best, so that you can live your highest and best life. So, remember the 5 questions. Are my daily actions in alignment with my long-term goals and values? Do I find that I'm seeking temporary relief? Am I surrounding myself with people who support my spiritual growth? How do I respond to setbacks? And is my self-talk positive? as you begin to really look at those 5 questions for yourself, let me know how we might be of support. Let me know how I can support you. That's why I'm here. Again, send me a text with your gratitude or even asking for support. 562-928-6460. I look forward to seeing you again right here next week on Labor Day. It's going to be a big show from out of town, and I look forward to seeing and being with all of you then. Until the next time, know that you are loved and supported. Bye for now.